Hello, friends. I want to talk about communication. What do you mean by communication? What is communication skill? This is a very big question, an important question. The questions we need to focus on because there is a misconception. Whenever we think of how to develop communication skills, we sometimes focus on the language, the ability to speak well, the ability to write well, and when you are able to speak and write well, you are considered to be a good communicator. Is it true? No, not at all. You may be a good speaker, you may be a good writer, but you may not be a good communicator. Obviously, speaking, writing have great role to play in your communication skills, but this is not the be all and end all of communications. Communications is a broad concept. This is a broad concept in the sense that when we talk about communications, we need to understand that communications is not just about speaking or writing. There are certain things that have a lot of influence on our speaking or writing. Maybe the influence is not so ostensible on writing, but when it comes to speaking, obviously it has great influence. When you speak, your body language comes into play. Gesture, posture, all come into play. Even if you are a good speaker, even if you are a good writer, unless you are emotionally intelligent, unless you have the emotions that is balanced, that is in the right self, unless you are positive in your mindset, unless you have empathy, you can never become a good communicator. That's true. Because your mindset, your behavioral pattern, your cognitive ability come into play while communicating with other people. Think of the situations. You have lost someone who is near and dear to you. Will you be happy? Will you be in the positive mindset? When you are not happy or in the positive mindset, can you communicate well? Not at all. When you are stressed, when you are angered, when you are in difficult situations, can you speak freely and spontaneously as you are used to? No. So these things, emotional intelligence comes into play. Your nonverbal communication has a greater role to play in the communication process. It is well said that 93% of your communications are constituted or are influenced by your nonverbal cues, and just 7% is by your verbal communication. So when it comes to like that, you can understand how influential the nonverbal communications, how influential the role of emotional intelligence can be, or emotional quotient, EQ, because nonverbal communication is mostly the reflections of your emotional intelligence. If you are in the positive mode, if you know how to manage your stress, if you know how to regulate your emotions, if you know how to understand the feelings of others, you can be a good communicator. And all those qualities are coming under emotional intelligence. So just having the knowledge of the language, just having the ability to use right words at the right context, just having the ability to use right or the appropriate collocations and the right idioms or the idiomatic expressions won't make you a good communicator unless you know how to manage your emotions, unless you know the different components of emotional intelligence, unless you know how to handle the components of emotional intelligence. All those things are certainly important. So whenever you think of being a good communicator, you need to focus on your ability to use the language in the right order, in a proper context, and also your ability to handle your emotion, your ability to get the right kind of emotional intelligence comes into play. So just focus both on the use of language, use of nonverbal cues, and the use of right kind of emotional intelligence. Thank you very much.